sure you've heard a lot of LinkedIn marketing best practices to get more exposure and attract your ideal clients and grow your business. And they do work in theory. But for some of these best practices, when you put them into practice, they completely fall apart to the point where it can cripple your business. So let me illustrate this with a personal story, and I promise I will show you how it ties into LinkedIn. So I have an eye disease called glaucoma. The best way to describe it is that you get more and more tunnel vision until there's nothing left. It's a bummer, but that's life. Anyway, the medicines I've tried have slowed down the tunnel, but not enough. My right eye is especially stubborn, and if something doesn't change, I will be completely blind in my right eye in about 7-ish years. So recently my doctor prescribed a new medicine to try. Let's call it Medicine A. Now there's going to be more to tell, but let's start tying this into LinkedIn. Think of Medicine A on LinkedIn as a certain piece of general advice you often hear, which is you need to post content that delivers value, and that's true. Now, following just this advice on LinkedIn isn't going to turn you into a LinkedIn legend, but you will see some positive results. Back to the story. About a month after I start taking Medicine A, I go see the doctor for a follow-up. Now, my normal doctor's not there, so I see another doctor in her practice. And the substitute doctor says, "Medicine A is helping a little, but we need better results. You should be taking Medicine A and this Medicine B together." Medicine B? Yes, they're extremely effective together. I don't know why you weren't prescribed both A and B at the same time. So I start taking both medicines, and I'm wondering, why didn't my normal doctor prescribe Medicine B in the first place? So let's keep on building this analogy. We still want to take Medicine A, but Medicine A will go a whole lot farther if we tack on some Medicine B. Medicine B is this best practice algorithm hack that helps ensure that the content you put out there is delivered to even more news feeds, and therefore you get even more exposure. Now, what's super interesting about this hack is that it's based on engagement that you do before and after you post. Let's say you have a post going out at 10 a.m. According to this hack, starting at 9:30 a.m., you need to start engaging with posts from other relevant accounts, and you keep doing that all the way through 10:30 a.m. And you need to comment on your own post, but you need to wait an hour after you've posted before you make that first comment. And it needs to be a meaningful comment that adds even more value to the post that you've already poured your heart into. And you should add 2 more meaningful comments 6 hours and 12 hours after you post. And back to my eyes. It seemed like Medicine B alongside Medicine A did the trick. It actually stopped the tunnel from getting worse, which no other treatment that I've tried over the last several years was able to do. So it's a success, right? But then come the problems. At first, my eyes get bloodshot. Not the best look, but if it's in the name of preventing blindness, I'll deal. Then my eyes start watering a little bit, mainly in the morning. I could live with it. But then my eyes start watering all day and all night. Not only does my skin burn from constantly wiping my eyes, but whatever liquid is oozing out of my eyes burns even more. And this nonstop ooze is wearing me down. I spend hours every day lying in bed with my eyes closed because having them open made me too aware of the pain. And you know what hurts even more? Medicine B, it turns out, isn't even covered by insurance, and it costs $300 a month. So I go in for another checkup with my normal doctor. And at this point, I'm sobbing and I'm telling her how much I hate Medicine B. And I couldn't believe I actually said this, but I would rather go half blind than take this medicine. And she says, stop taking it now. That's why I never prescribed Medicine B. It's crazy expensive and it drives people nuts. There is one last resort thing we can do with my eyes, and I'll get to that shortly, but let's bring this back to LinkedIn since this channel is about LinkedIn. So this Medicine B LinkedIn algorithm hack is a case of a best practice that in theory works, but when you put it into practice, it burns you out. And it's so time consuming that it eats away at the time you need to run other critical parts of your business, and it seeps into your personal life. I mean, let's look at this. Every time you post, you need to first craft the content, however long it takes you to do that, and then engage for a full hour with posts from other accounts. And that engagement has to be scheduled around the time you post, regardless of what else is going on with your business. And craft and post 3 additional meaningful comments, including at bedtime. Are you going to do that for every single post? How about every other post? For me, maybe once a year for something super, super important, maybe. Now, there is one thing that the algorithm hack doesn't talk about that I do recommend you do. When someone comments on your post, just do your best to comment back in a timely manner. Yes, the algorithm likes that, but more importantly, it's just common human courtesy. Now, should we be posting? Yes. Should we be engaging? Yes. But whatever formula or schedule we use, it needs to fit in with our business and our lives. The way I look at it, best practices are relative. A best practice isn't the best if you can't practice it. And that's how I work with my clients. The content and engagement strategies that we develop have to fit nicely with their business and their lives. Now, as for what to do with my eyes, in the glaucoma world, medicines are always tried before surgery, and we've exhausted all the medicines at this point. So at the time that I'm filming this, we're in the process of scheduling that surgery. It's pretty invasive. They're going to cut a trap door in my eyeball while I'm awake, and the surgery has some risks, but that's where we are, and I am grateful that I do have one more option. The surgery will be sometime this summer, so stay tuned. Now, your LinkedIn presence might not need a full operation, but you will want to learn how to come up with content that your audience will love so you can build your brand and grow your business. So check out this video in the top right corner. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.